Hi, just about maybe 7 years ago or something like that, I got to know this term, a Japanese uh, saying Danshari. Danshari means declaring or tidying up, and this is, I think, that started with this author, Japanese author. Her name is Hideko Yamashita, and she published the book Danshari at the time, and become a sensation because it has lots of meaning of this particular decluttering or tidying up philosophy, and so I have that in my mind, and I have been in trying to declutter myself because it's every time I move, for example, all these CDs and books, tremendous amount, as a pseudo intellectual, and I accumulated a lot of stuff, and so I try to follow this particular the way of Danshari, and but I'm still struggling. I think there's a lot of stuff that accumulated. Is each one of them had a tremendous emotional attachment and the values there, and so it is very difficult. But uh, I'm glad that I'm doing it now because when I do it, I feel less stressed. I think you become like a person who uh, make it free from the guilt, free from the all those memories, so good memories, bad memories, maybe, but all these things that you kind of get away from it, and you feel like a cleansed. You feel like you are a new person, and you have a tremendous energy coming up within you. So for that respect, I should be Danshari. Danshari should be doing Danshari. This particular Danshari is, I think, coming from yoga teaching. I think Dan means refuse the necessary items to enter into one's living space. So this is a thing that before you get something, you remove that things, or you kind of refuse to get into your life. And that's a Dan. Okay. Sha means throw away the endless garbage derived from the household items. So that particular sha means like throwing away the lot of junk you accumulated over the years, and this especially like a paper items that you don't need anymore, or the kids' toys items you don't need anymore, or old clothing that you never wear in the past 20 years. Something like that. I think that's Sha. Li is the stay away from the obsessions of keeping the unused items at home. So unused items at home, because of that you had it for such a long time, it's so difficult to get rid of. I think it's so difficult to to leave the stuff that is, especially the sentimental values. But all these things that you don't use, you don't need, I think you better get rid of it, because of you have those, you have old memories, fresh. You are reminded of this particular memory. It's a good thing, but as well as a bad thing, because in the one hand you retain the memory, probably old happy days, probably better, but at the same time old happy memory comes with the unhappy memories as well. And also, the past is past. You cannot regain the past. You cannot, uh, reach the past stage. However you try, you cannot get that stage. So it's kind of a fruitless uh, effort for anybody to do so. So I think it's a good idea to just don't do it. So Danshari means something more philosophical than, I would say, just tidying up. But from the point of view of tidying up, I noticed myself that you tidy up, now you also clean up there. Therefore, you refresh yourself with a clean, empty space, and then start from there, from the beginning again, to establish yourself, which is very, very nice feeling. I think a lot of people who has this past relationship, past memory, past things that you kind of attach to, but if you, for some reason, if you take that off, all of a sudden you become free. All of a sudden you are happier because you don't have this old baggage that you have to carry around. And that's a very, very nice thing. So from the practical point of view, it's much easier to move around. It's much easier to live day by day. It's much a simpler life to enjoy and appreciate the simple life. I think that's what it is to get into this particular Danshari spirits. So I start doing that. First of all, the most difficult thing is the this item that I really, really enjoyed, like a CD and books, and I focused on those two. CDs I accumulated over the years. When the LP becomes CD, I got rid of all the LPs, and that was difficult. But I realized that, well, I never listen to LPs anymore. Therefore, yeah, I don't mind getting rid of it. And so I'm glad I did. But CDs, still I use it. Still I appreciate the music, and so it's very, very difficult for me. But slowly in the last, probably 5 to 10 years, I tried to get rid of the old CDs that I never listen regularly. I never, even though I bought the CD, for example, just maybe once or twice I listened to it, and but you don't listen to them after that. So those CDs I can easily get rid of it. So I'm slowly doing that, and the last couple of days I was trying to go much more drastically, trying to reduce my CDs. For example, like for classical CDs, I buy CDs, and in the spirit of second, I like to have that as a CD so that I can enjoy that music. So I buy them, but then I never, even one CD or two CDs, I never listen to it, even though I bought it. And this is ridiculous, and I will never listen to those CDs again. The most CDs I kind of value today is the one that in the past, I really, really enjoyed. I really, really listened to it to my heart content, to the level of the my life was depending on it. And so those CDs, I couldn't get rid of it. So those CDs used to be okay, but I tried to look for CD versions of it, and I bought the CDs. And even though I don't listen to these days, but I still have this particular CDs to remind me that yeah, you really appreciate. You want to listen to it again and again. So I do that. And books, for example. Books, I became a reader at the age of like 50 or 60 years old. I'm 75 now. And the late comers for book reading. Although I was reading books when I was younger, but it's not to the intensity of my later years. And this particular hobby of reading became a tremendous major part of my enjoyment. After all these years, I really appreciated the reading more and more now. So I accumulated since then lots of books like Haruki Murakami, Kazuo Ishiguro, John Steinbeck, Hemingway, and McEwan, and all the classical, Sherlock Holmes and Jane Austen, and all these classical books, and also like a popular hit, like a philosophy type of book, Zen and motorcycle maintenance. I love those things, and those books I would never get rid of until my dying day. I think the books I could get rid of is the one that sometimes I buy books when people say, "Wow, it's a very good read and a very tremendous, the best of the year," and all this. So without knowing much, I buy those books, but I never read the book. So I set aside, someday I will read it, but of course I will never read it. So those books, I think I better get rid of it, because it doesn't make sense to me to hang on to those books I never read. But the books I really read and enjoyed so much, I couldn't get rid of it, even though I read it already, and I will never read it again, but I may read it again. So those books, I will keep it. So I'm in the process of doing that. And there's this scientific book and literature book. And now it's a literature book become like a tremendously weight on me. And science book is less and less. Like a reference book, for example, the birds of the world book, like birds in South Africa or South America, or birds in Indonesia, something like that, is something that I always wanted to visit those places to do a bird watching. And for a while I was doing the bird watching through stamps, postal stamps, because most of the postal stamps depicting those regional birds in the beautiful illustrated postal stamps. So I used to collect that, but now that particular collection of stamps become like I don't care that much anymore. And so those books, I have to get rid of it, even though I think when I acquired those worldwide those bird book, and it's not that cheap, it's kind of expensive books, and that's very appreciated by bird watcher. used to be myself, but bird watching itself I become less and less. So yeah, I guess it's in essence that those books, yeah, I have to get rid of it because I'm not talking about like one or two. I have like a 20 or 30 books of birds watching all over the world, and that's very, very difficult to move around and so forth. So I like to do that. So yeah, started with CD, and now I'm getting to the books, and I already feeling much lighter, much freer, and maybe I have much more energy for everyday life if I don't have those. I think those personal belongings, items, I think are very, in a way, it's like maintain your, mental sanity. Probably, your, feel like you're retaining in your brain more if you have a books, because you always go to books to find out something, and so you feel like you have extended brain power with the book. And I think that's true, very, very true. But at the same time, those books sitting there without being read for more than 30 or 40 years, that's gonna be problematic. And so I thought about those books. Should I keep them or should I get rid of them? Of course, you better get rid of it because chances are you never open the book again in future either. Concept of Danshari means more than decluttering, and for me it's like a more psychological meaning to it. I think in the past, I had a lot of things, my regrets, especially what I should have been doing and I didn't do. All these things that I couldn't accomplish with other people, friendship, love, all these things, you regret yourself. But regretting is not a happy situation, it's very stressful. And so I better not to have those regrets. I better not to think about the past. The past is mostly, of course there's a happy occasions, but mostly regrets and the sad incidents, and something that you blame yourself or other people blame myself. And so for that reason I don't want to deal with it today. And of course today is today, past is the past, tomorrow is the tomorrow, and especially the past you cannot get it back. So you think you better just forget about those past. So Danshari means for me, it's like you have to do a brand new start psychologically and a brand new way of living, to live today very contentedly and happily, rather than regretting or something like you blaming yourself even today, and that's not good. So I think that's for that reason, physically cleaning up yourself, throwing away the thing that you don't need, the past memories you don't use. I think you want to just get rid of it, and in that way psychologically much happier person. And I really believe that, and I really recommend, if you cannot throw away your personal items, like books and CDs, the enjoyment items in the past, you can at least think about this particular philosophy or practice of Danshari, and in that way you get probably become happier person. Yeah, so that's what I like to convey, I think. I know you think about these people who are in the philosophy of minimalism. People live very frugally in the frugal positions and frugally means you live as minimal as possible. That particular philosophy, I think you are richer without having all these things.